guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got a unique email here, a unique situation here. This guy's writing and asking both my help and especially you guys in the comments section. It turns out this guy sounds like he's in his early 30s. And long story short, back in 2008 when he was young, a teen, he and his girlfriend or friends of benefits, who was also a teen, both minors I believe, she got pregnant. And unbeknownst to him, his girl, his friends of benefits mother, decided that it was best that the daughter can't raise the child because she's a minor and a teen, and put the child up for adoption without his knowledge. Apparently you do this many months in advance before the baby's born, and so he never got to meet his child, which, by the way, he'll mention that, yes, in fact, this was his child. Never got to meet her, that type of thing. And all that, and now all this time he's wondered what happened to her, etc. Well, guess what? Now that she's 16, somehow he's tracked her down. And obviously, 100% this is his child. He says he's absolutely convinced, fair enough. And he's writing and wanting to know what to do. Because apparently, she was adopted by a good family, which of course is nice. And she does competition of something, and she was going to be in his state, actually. And he wanted to know if he should, meet up with her, reach out to her, or he should wait till she's a legal adult, that type of thing. And anyhow, I'm saying a lot here, but the point is, he's writing and looking for advice because this guy's definitely emotional here, and I want to help him out as best I can because I had a girlfriend that was adopted back in the day, so I can share that perspective, as well as you guys that maybe might know someone or have a input in this situation to help this guy out. But this really goes to show you guys how he, as the man, didn't have any rights. It didn't matter to him and what was done to him and all that, and he feels really he was robbed of this child, even though, let's be honest, they're both minors, and taking care of her and all that probably wouldn't have gone too well. And so I think probably the adoption was the best thing, but he didn't have a choice, and that was and he was robbed of that, and now he wants to know her. But anyhow, it says, hello SSM. I'm really not even sure where to begin with this one. This is a painful story, and I really just need some help from you and the community in dealing with it. I'll give a bit of a backstory here. So back in 2008, I had a friend with benefits. We were both young, we were both dumb, and she got pregnant. She was still a teen. Her mother made her put our baby up for adoption. I didn't even know about it until after the adoption process was completed. Right there in the first paragraph. Okay, and I'm going to we all know darn well, wear protection, guys. Look what happened. Mother didn't think she could raise the child. She was a minor, so, can't quite entirely blame the mom here. But regardless, could have worked. Yes, they could have figured something out, but what happened. But he didn't know what was going on. He was left out of the decision-making process. They didn't care. It's terrible. So there's always been something that ate away at me, knowing I had a daughter out there somewhere that I never met before. I prayed every single night since then that she was being watched over, cared for, and had a better childhood than I could ever give her. Well, that is really big of you. You love her more, even though you can't be with her. You want her to have a great life. So I knew her name, but that's all I knew. I had seen a picture of her as a baby, but not since then. I tried Googling her about twice a year since then in hopes of finding out anything about my daughter. I never had any luck until last week. Turns out that she lives about 2,000 miles away from me. I'm in the Midwest and she's in the Southwest. I found her adopted parents on social media. I even found out she now has her own social media. And I know what you're going to say. Are you sure she's yours? Yes. Paternity had been established back in 2008. I'm 100% positive she's mine. I would also like to show you a picture of her, but since she's still a minor, I don't really think that's a good idea. No, that's not a good idea. Do not send me any fucking pictures. But let's just say there is no mistaking her as my kid. Okay. Now here's where I'm really stumped. She's coming to my state soon. She's in an after-school activity, and her group has made it the national competitions, which happen to be held about an hour away from me. She'll be here in October. I would give anything just to be able to see her in person. Pictures are one thing, but I actually want to see the only child I have in this world. Also, how can I go about trying to initiate contact with my daughter? I want to get to know who she is as a person, and I want to give her a chance to get to know who her family is and where she came from. I've tried reaching out to the adoptive parents on social media, but they haven't read my messages. Facebook will send messages from people You don't know into the message request folder that you have to go out of your way to see, so I wasn't expecting much. Aside from continuing to try to reach out to them through social media, what else can and should I do? Would it be wrong of me to show up at her competition unannounced? Yes, but I'll get into that later. It's a huge public thing, so hundreds if not thousands of people are going to be there. It doesn't matter, and I'll tell you why at the end. If nothing else, I know I can just wait another 2 years, you mean until she's 18, legal adult, and some change for her to be 18, and then reach out to her directly. But I'd really prefer not to wait. I don't want to cold approach her like that if I can help it, as I don't want to traumatize her by suddenly just jumping into her life like that. I know this is probably all over the place, but it's just how my mind's been working lately. It's a major emotional thing for you, dude. I understand. I've been a complete emotional wreck, on the verge of a mental breakdown since I first saw her picture. I mean, it was almost like looking in the mirror. It kills me to know that all along I could have been a dad to this girl, but I had it stolen away from me. And the worst part of this is that it was legal, because of a stupid law that was mostly written before the internet existed. Yeah, she was stolen away from you, and that's terrible. And I'm sure looking back realistically, you could say, yes, you and somehow your family could have found a way to raise her. But believe me, it would have been very, very difficult. Well, let's be honest here. Of course, things can be done, but still, but you didn't get a choice, and that's wrong. And I have a feeling there will be some questions, so here's some answers, and I anticipate you'll be asking. Number one, the mother signed away her rights. I figured that. Number two, I never did, although I'm not sure that matters. He says, number two, in my state, all the mother has to do is post a notice in her local newspaper 3 months before the adoption is completed, and if the father doesn't contest, it goes through. She technically has no obligations to actually notify the father directly. That is fucking bullshit. And three, no, I did not talk to the mother anymore. Last I knew, she was on her third marriage with 6 other kids. I think I dodged a bullet there. Yes, you did, my friend. Well, so that's the end of his thing. So, bro, I'm really sorry that happened to you, and people can go back and forth debating whether it was the best thing for the baby at the time versus, you and the friends of benefits raising and all that as minors and all that. Of course, things can be done, but it's hard to say. But the biggest issue here is this was done without your knowledge and your permission, all that. And that's terrible. But you can't change the past. It is what it is. But you can be mindful, guys, the bullshit guys go through. So going to his current question situation. He sees her picture. He's found her. He wants to meet her. He wants to see her. All that. I can't blame you at all, bro. And you're absolutely convinced she's your child. Fair enough. Just showing up to her unannounced is a terrible idea, because I can't begin to describe how much that would freak her out. And I'm concerned if you'd say you just went to this event anyway and saw her perform whatever she does in competition, that the emotions will take over and convince you to go up and approach her, which is a terrible idea. I mean, think about it. It could really freak her out. I think the best move, frankly, is to wait until she's 18 years old, a legal adult, and graduated high school before you do anything like that. But I want to say a few things just so you can be prepared of what could happen here. It is a major possibility that she may not want to see you, and that could really hurt. But you got to be prepared for that her adoptive family is her family, and it's just too weird. Or it's a possibility, and you never know, that, remember, she was adopted as a baby, that her adopted parents told a complete lie about you and her mother. That maybe that you were these awful people and blah, 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 so to protect her in their eyes and protect them. So that could happen. Whether that, and obviously that's not true. Also, you just showing up at 16 years old could seem very creepy and wrong to me. And that can make the parents end up calling the cops and all that. So I would absolutely wait when you reach out to her, because I know you're going to do it. 18 years old, out of high school, But remember this. She also simply may not be interested. And that could be a very hard pill to swallow. I had a girlfriend at the end of high school and throughout all college. She was a great girl, great family. She was adopted. When she was 2 years old, her father, this is like probably like 1980 or something like that. Her father was arrested and went off to jail, then prison for drugs and all that. And something happened to the mother, and so she was in foster care, different homes for years until she was finally in the home with the family that adopted her. And make no mistake, my girl from back in the day didn't want anything to do with her family. Now, to my knowledge at the time, they never reached out to her or anything like that, and she was happy for that, because to her, her adopted family is her family. And I remember it was the old nature nurture thing. She was just like her mother, but purely nurture. Now, it seems that what she knew was true, that her dad was arrested and then went to prison, and basically her parents were fucking lowlives, and she wanted nothing to do with them. You obviously are not a lowlife. The baby mom obviously is, but you're not. But who knows what was told to her? So it could be very difficult, a situation. So 100% do not reach out to her now. Terrible idea. Wait until she's 18 and out of high school and give her some time if you're going to do that. Pick and choose, consult people that may have been in a situation like this. But also remember another thing. I know you reached out to her. You said you reached out to her parents through Facebook Messenger, and it goes in that little spot that you can't tell with people aren't connected with you. Whether they saw it or not, they may not want you involved with her life because they are fearful that could take her away from them. There are a lot of kids that are adopted that never knew their parents, and even though they had great loving families that adopted them, they still wonder about my real mom and my real dad, and that can be very hurtful for the adopted family, And I mean, you can't blame them. Put yourself in their shoes. So, I'm sorry this happened to you, but the past is the past. And like I said, the best thing you could do is wait. At that point, then when she's a legal adult and out of high school, that's key here. And you can even determine. Now, if in that time period, her adoptive family sees the message and reaches out to you, and they say yes, well, okay, wonderful. But if they reach out to you and say, fuck off, stay away from her, she's not your whatever, because you never know what they heard or what they believe, then you can again determine when the girl's 18, she's a legal adult. So, but I'd be prepared for all different type of situations. It may turn out great, and that'd be wonderful for you, or it may not turn out not so great. But in life, guys, you gotta take chances, you gotta take risks, you gotta go out your comfort zone for things that you want to happen in your life. So that's what I think. Again, I'm no pro here, but again, I did have a girlfriend for many years. She's a great girl back then, who was adopted, and I'm telling you from her perspective, and I know she wanted nothing to do with those people, but it seems that what she was told, they were scumbags, and the dad went off to prison, and they left her behind the house for a couple of days. She was a little 2-year-old. How she survived, who knows? So she didn't want anything to do with them. And you never know what is told to your daughter here. So just be prepared for everything, but I do hope it isn't so bad. So that's what I think. All right, guys, that's it for today. Please be sure to comment down below. Let this guy know what you think. Maybe some of you guys out there may have some experience in this. Maybe if you are a father, or my 4% of women out there are mothers that adopted a child, what would you think from the perspective of the adopted parents? If any of you guys out there are adopted, what you would think about a parent reaching out, the biological parent reaching out to you when you're a legal adult. Anybody that may have some experience in this, please take a moment to write in the comment section to this dude what you think, any tips and advice, because he's hurting here. I don't know what this feels like because, to my knowledge, there aren't any little SSMs out there. I sure as hell hope not. But, but I can still have empathy, and I feel bad for you, and you were robbed of this, but the past is the past. So I hope you use your head and don't let your emotions take over and do something stupid. It sounds like yeah, I should wait till she's a legal adult, but I'm afraid if you go to that competition, the emotions will take over, and next thing you know, you're going up to her and she's like freaked out and the police are involved. So just really be patient, and hopefully things work out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.